Investigators want an arrest warrant for former Navy Chief Hwang Ki-chul over bribery allegations surrounding the sonar on the salvage ship Tongyang. President Park Geun-hye vows to improve the economy through cooperation with the Middle East. The government will provide funds of $4.4 billion to that end. And another incident of passengers swapping their boarding passes, this time with Korean Air, has raised concerns over airport security. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Friday, March 20th. I'm Luke Clary. A joint investigation team looking into bribery allegations over a naval equipment procurement project has requested an arrest warrant for former Navy Chief Hwang Ki-chul. He's been accused of falsifying official documents in the procurement of the hull-mounted sonar on the salvage ship Tongyang.
The joint investigation team probing naval bribery allegations has requested an arrest warrant for former Navy Chief Hwang Ki-chul. The decision came after 2 days of intense questioning of the admiral. The key evidence was the model assessment plan written up to select the sonar type for the salvage vessel Tongyang in 2009. Hwang is accused of instructing or conspiring to write up a false report stating that the chosen sonar fulfills all the requirements. However, there had been no assessment data for the sonar's performance in the first place. Hwang, who was in charge of naval vessel procurements at the time, signed off on purchasing a piece of outdated equipment worth only $178,000 at over $3.65 million. As a result, more than $3 million of taxes were wasted in the procurement process, and the country's cutting-edge salvage vessel Tongyang was not even deployed for the rescue operation of Sewol Ferry last April. However, the former admiral is said to have denied most of the charges. So far, 11 people have been arrested for their involvement in the corrupted bidding process for the Tongyang. The investigation is reaching its climax as an arrest warrant has been requested for former Navy Chief Hwang, who had been in charge of the entire Navy until a month ago.
President Park Geun-hye has vowed to use the outcome of her recent visit to the Middle East toward improving the national economy. The South Korean government has decided to provide over $4.4 billion to companies participating in Mideast construction projects.
President Park Geun-hye presided over a meeting on trade and investment promotion, in which ways of using the outcome of her recent visit to the Middle East were discussed. The president stressed that now is the right time to employ a second Middle East boom to improve the nation's economy, much in the same way that Korea overcame the oil crisis of the 1970s by establishing a presence in the Middle East region.
경제 활성화를 해야 된다 하고 노력을 하고 있고 간절하게 기도하는 마음으로 염원하는데 그거에 대한 하늘의 응답이 바로 지금 현실에서 벌어지고 있는 이것이 바로 메시지라고 우리가 정확하게 읽어야 된다고 생각합니다.
President Park proposed detailed ways to help Korean companies expand their presence in the Middle East, such as building a complex to develop halal food for Muslims and providing training and information for young people who want to work in the region.
하여튼 대한민국의 청년이 텅텅 빌 정도로 한번 해보세요. 다 어디 갔냐? 저 중동에 다 갔다고 그래요.
To encourage more Korean companies to advance into the Mideast market, the government will provide an additional $4.4 billion to companies that invest in overseas construction projects and large plants.
Another incident of passengers swapping boarding passes has been uncovered, this time on a Korean Air flight. It's suspected that the switch may have been arranged by a smuggling broker, and the fact that it took this long to discover has raised concerns over airport security.
At a departure gate at Incheon International Airport on the evening of March 16, 2 Chinese men claimed that they had lost their boarding passes and missed their flight to Bangkok and demanded to be let out of the airport. It was 3 hours after the plane had already departed. Subsequently, Korean Air checked with the plane heading toward Bangkok and confirmed that 2 Koreans were sitting in the seats allegedly purchased by the Chinese passengers. It turned out that the 2 Koreans switched their boarding passes to Vancouver with the Chinese men. The Korean Air aircraft did not return to the airport, given that it was already more than halfway to its destination.
당시 항공기가 이미 운항한 지 3시간이 지난 시점에서 발견이 되었고요. 수화물이 없는 승객이어서 유관기관과 협의해서 운항을 지속했습니다.
The 2 Korean passengers were arrested as soon as they landed in Bangkok and sent back to Korea. At the time of the incident, the 2 Chinese men were attempting to board the plane to Vancouver, but gave up boarding when airline employees checked their passports at the gate, unlike what happened for the flight to Bangkok. The Korea Immigration Service has opened an investigation to determine how the 4 men came to switch their boarding passes.
A video showing foreign tourists in Pyongyang has emerged for the first time since North Korea lifted its border restrictions to keep out the Ebola virus. More foreigners are expected to travel to the country next month to participate in an international marathon in Pyongyang.
Foreign tourists disembarked from an Air Korea airliner at Sunan International Airport in Pyongyang. They are excited to be the first group of foreigners in 5 months to have a chance to tour the north.
I'm very excited to see loads of things. The people have been really nice so far, and Kaesong, we're looking forward to going there and staying in traditional.
The streets of Pyongyang look deserted, with few citizens in sight. In the lobby of the Yangang Hotel, there are no guests apart from about 10 tourists. Following the resumption of land tours, some 70 Chinese tourists arrived in the north by train on March 9th to visit Dandong, Siniju, and Pyongyang.
지난 시기와 마찬가지로 우리나라에는 관광객들의 편의를 보장해주기 위해서 모든 성의 있는 노력을 다하고 있습니다.
Hundreds of foreigners are expected to visit the north next month as North Korea has given a green light to foreigners' participation in an international marathon to be held in Pyongyang. The North Korean government is attempting to lure as many foreign tourists as possible, as tourism is a major source of its foreign currency revenues.
An increasing number of students are re-entering vocational colleges while attending a 4-year university or even after graduating. With Korea's youth unemployment problem growing ever more serious, students are taking a new approach to find jobs that better suit their interests and talents.
23-year-old Lee Seung-hye was a college sophomore up until 2 years ago. But she dropped out of school to enroll in a vocational college to study infant-toddler care earlier this month. It was at a time when it was hard to find a job even after graduating from a 4-year university, and her major did not suit her.
학교 다니면서 되게 고민 많이 했는데요. 취업률도 학교 쪽에서 알아보니까 적고 제 진로랑도 배울수록 안 맞는 것 같아서 그만두게 되었어요.
Yoo Mi-hyun graduated from a 4-year university in 2008, but enrolled in the nursing program at a vocational college.
적성에도 맞고 장기적으로 취업하기에도 수월할 것 같아서 간호학과에 지원하게 되었습니다.
29 university graduates have enrolled in this vocational college this year. They're mostly concentrated in areas with promising job prospects. With the nation's youth unemployment problem getting more serious in recent years, roughly 2,400 graduates from 4-year universities nationwide have re-entered vocational colleges over the past 2 years.
Last year, the number of households that moved from big cities to rural areas hit an all-time high, surpassing 44,000. But quite a few of them failed to adapt to rural life and returned to the cities. Here's a closer look at this trend and how families successfully make the move to the country.
Han Chan-ho is checking his farming equipment ahead of the upcoming farming season. He moved to this village 7 years ago after quitting his business in Seoul. He says that in the beginning, he went through many rough patches.
또 어떻게 파종을 하고 또 어떻게 수확을 하는지 그것이 가장 힘들었었습니다.
One of the hardships that former city dwellers face after moving to rural areas is the feeling of being ostracized. That's why 1 out of every 10 households either moves to another village or returns to the city. To minimize trial and error, newcomers are advised to visit support centers in order to learn farming techniques and how to choose the right crops. Before moving to a rural area, trying farming work firsthand for several months on site is also recommended. To ensure successful settlement in a rural area, it's also important to be actively involved in the local community.
There are exclusive theaters aimed at screening small-scale so-called diversity films, as it's a tall order to get mega movie chains to show them. But even at these exclusive theaters, diversity films are hard to find, as other movies that don't fit the standard for showing at these places are taking their place. Let's take a look.
A movie portraying the danger of social networking services is screened at a theater that is reserved only for what are called diversity films. But this film was screened at 353 locations nationwide on the day of its release, which is way over the limit of 200 screens, a criterion designated by the Korean Film Council when defining diversity films. Another film released on the same day was also recognized as a diversity film, but it was screened at 326 theaters on opening day. According to documents from an assessment of the two movies held on March 6th, the number of opening screens is stated as undetermined and 180 expected, respectively.
접수 당시에 적용된 기준은 엄밀하면 어긴 건 아니에요. 근데 사업을 개봉한 거에 대해서는 그거를 소급해서 처리한다라는 규정이 사실상 지금 없기 때문에.
A movie can be shown at 49 exclusive theaters across the country once it's recognized as a diversity film. But if movies, not much different from commercial releases, are also screened at those theaters due to lax rules, small-scale, small-budget films will further lose ground. Measures are called for to protect the original aim of these exclusive theaters, which is to showcase quality films of diverse genres to the general public.
The boy band EXO has unveiled a sneak preview of their upcoming second regular album, and whether they can match the success of their first album remains to be seen. This and much more in our Culture News Roundup.
Boy band EXO will release their second regular album titled Exodus on March 30th. Their first album, Overdose, sold over 1 million copies last year. EXO is a leader in the K-pop boom both at home and abroad. Its management agency said teaser previews by each member will be unveiled ahead of the album release and disclosed Kai's video as the first on Thursday through its website. Dream Concert, a leading name in Korean concerts running in its 21st year, will be held May 23rd this year at the World Cup Stadium in Sangam-dong, Seoul. Several pop idol bands including SHINee, Infinite, and Sistar will perform this year at the Dream Concert. Singer Chung Dong-ha from the rock band Buhal will hold his first solo concert in Tokyo on Sunday. Chung's management agency says that the artist hasn't officially commenced activities in Japan, but has high hopes the concert will be a success as he has many fans there.
Fish cakes, or omuk, are a popular street snack in Korea. They're available in all kinds of flavors and forms these days. Take a look. The city of Busan is the cradle of fish cakes, or omuk. All the customers here are holding trays and tongs. You can choose from over 60 kinds of omuk here.
여기 있는 거 다 먹고 싶어요.
Crunchy and light Omuk croquettes are a big hit these days. You can choose from 6 kinds of Omuk croquette, such as cheese and shrimp croquettes. Omuk was first introduced in Korea during Japanese colonization. After the Korean War, when famine was severe in Korea, many grassroots people quenched their hunger with Omuk. In the past, Omuk was mostly made with pollock, which was in large supply in Korea. Nowadays, Omuk is also made with swordfish, croakers, and other white meat fish. Omuk is not always white in color. Its color may appear different when it's made with whole ground fish or when it's deep fried in oil. Omuk comes in various shapes these days.
사각 어묵은 쫄깃한 식감 때문에 우리가 국탕용으로 이렇게 사용하시기 좋으시고요. 동그란 작은 어묵은요, 동그란 모양으로 소스가 이렇게 잘 배이도록 되어 있고 부드러운 식감 때문에 조림용으로 적합하게 사용할 수 있습니다.
Omuk is a versatile cooking ingredient. To make cellophane noodles with Omuk and pepper, slice the onions, bell peppers, and Omuk into similar sizes. Then put some pepper oil into a pan and fry the onions, bell peppers, and Omuk. Season with some soy sauce and fry one more time. To make an Omuk burger, spread some sweet mustard sauce on a slice of bread and top with the other ingredients and Omuk. Here's one more dish called Omuk with sweet potatoes. Mix mashed sweet potatoes with some mayonnaise, fill Omuk with the mashed potatoes, and fry briefly without any oil. With these simple tips, you can easily cook Omuk snacks for your family. And now let's take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.